Hey guys, tonight, we begin with something surprisingly relatable: sleep. Or more accurately, how medieval people slept, which, honestly, was far stranger than you might imagine. So before you get too comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And let me know in the comments where you're watching from, and what time it is for you right now. It's always fascinating to see who's joining us from around the world. Now, dim the lights. Maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum. And let's ease into tonight's journey together. Segmented sleep, the medieval two-part night. Before electricity, TikTok, and the modern obsession with sleep hygiene, medieval people followed a sleep pattern that would confuse any melatonin enthusiast. It was called segmented sleep, a natural two-part cycle, split neatly in half like a slightly stale medieval biscuit. People went to bed early after sundown and drifted into first sleep. After about 4 hours, they woke up deliberately, not from insomnia, not from stress, but because this was simply how sleep worked. The next hour or two was the watch period, a strange mix of peaceful activity and awkward midnight productivity. People prayed, read religious texts, tended the fire, checked on their livestock, because nothing interrupts your REM sleep like wondering if your goat is still in the yard. And yes, this was also considered the ideal time for intimacy. Medieval physicians claimed the body was well rested and calm of mind, which is a poetic way of saying, too tired to argue. After this interlude, people returned to bed for their second sleep, lasting until sunrise. Everyone, monks, farmers, nobles, followed this rhythm. Even Chaucer casually mentioned it, proving medieval people were complaining about sleep long before the rest of us. Modern science even suggests segmented sleep might actually be more natural for humans. So if you're wide awake at 2 a.m., don't panic. Just whisper to yourself, "Ah yes, the watch has begun." Beds, or something that vaguely resembled them. Today we obsess over thread counts and memory foam. But medieval Europe had a very different definition of bed. For most peasants, a bed was, well, a pile of things that used to be alive. A straw mattress, or pallet, was common. Straw stuffed into a rough sack, if they had a sack. Otherwise, just straw on the floor, possibly damp, possibly already claimed by a cat. It wasn't comfortable. But it was better than nothing, which happened to be the only alternative. Straw insulated well, but also attracted lice, insects, and the occasional mouse. Sleeping was an exercise in ignoring whatever just crawled over your ankle. If a family had more money, the mattress might sit on a wooden frame. Not much better, but at least beetles were less likely to crawl into your ears. Linens were a luxury. Most people slept in their daytime clothes. Pajamas weren't a thing, and neither was personal space. Whole families, parents, children, maybe a grandparent, slept together on the same pile of straw. Roll the wrong way and you might end up face first in someone's elbow. Nobles, of course, had real beds, feather mattresses, embroidered sheets, and canopies. These beds were so valuable they were passed down in wills. You didn't inherit land. You inherited Aunt Matilda's suspiciously lumpy feather bed. Nightcaps, not the drink, the hat. Today, a nightcap is a cozy drink. In the Middle Ages, it was a literal hat, designed to keep your head from freezing. Houses were freezing cold. Stone walls, drafty roofs, windows made of stretched animal horn. Insulation was a fantasy. So people wore nightcaps. Long, pointed, often ridiculous-looking hats made from wool or linen. For men, they were practical. For women, they doubled as modesty coverings, and as camouflage for hair that hadn't seen soap in months. Nightcaps even had social meaning. If you answered the door wearing one, it politely meant, "I am not available for conversation. Please go away." Sharing beds with strangers. If you think hostels today are bad, medieval inns would traumatize you. Travelers shared beds. Not rooms, beds. 2, 3, sometimes 4 strangers squeezed together, because resources were limited and privacy hadn't been invented yet. Snoring? Normal. Boils? Unfortunately common. Sleeping with your purse tied to your clothes? Highly recommended. And while nobles demanded private rooms, ordinary people simply made do. Because anything was better than sleeping outside with wolves, rain, and unexpected peasant uprisings. Prayers before sleep, spiritual antivirus software. Going to bed was a spiritual operation. People genuinely believed they might die in their sleep. So, bedtime involved prayers, confessions, psalms, and repentance. Just in case something happened between good-night and dawn. The popular prayer, "If I should die before I wake," wasn't poetic. It was a legal warning about your fragile medieval lifespan. Children were told angels were watching. Adorable, until you realize it meant celestial surveillance. Dreams, divine messages or demonic mischief. Dreams were taken seriously. Extremely seriously. A dream could be a message from God. Or a temptation from the devil. Or maybe the onions you ate for dinner were staging a rebellion. Medieval people analyzed dreams with almost scientific intensity. Fire meant hell. Water meant purification, or drowning. Goat-headed man juggling fish? Call a priest immediately. Monks recorded dreams. Nuns confessed them. Writers used them as plot devices. Dreams were basically the medieval Netflix, but with more metaphor and fewer happy endings. Sleeping with animals, the medieval heating system. Pet in the bed today? Cute. In the Middle Ages? Essential. Livestock slept indoors for warmth, chickens, pigs, goats, dogs, whatever generated heat. Children might sleep between parents and a goat. A pig might nap by the hearth. A chicken might be your alarm clock. Hygiene, we don't talk about hygiene. Monastic dormitories, comfort is a sin. Monasteries believed comfort equals weakness. Beds were wooden planks. Straw mattresses were a luxury. You slept fully clothed so you could respond to prayers at 2 a.m. No pillows. No curtains. No talking. Silence was mandatory. Snoring was a theological dilemma. Some monks even slept sitting up, to avoid the risk of enjoying themselves. Matins, waking up at 2 a.m. on purpose. Matins was the first prayer service, held in the dead of night. Monks rose at 2 a.m., shuffled silently to the chapel, and prayed by candlelight. Often fighting to stay awake. Falling asleep during prayer earned you more chores, or more prayer. Afterwards, some monks returned to bed. Others went straight to study or labor. Sacrifice was the point. Comfort was not.